Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Wilderness Survival School, where we're talking everything wilderness survival and preparedness. Thank you for joining me again. I hope you enjoyed the last series on survival guns, and then we had the table talk and then the bunker series. But we're going to start and get into a whole bunch of general videos, and I'm just really not going to just label them, right off the bat into a playlist. What I'm going to do is start showing you some really effective things out in the woods, but I'm also going to show you some comparisons. Well, today we're going to be talking about something that has been debated in the preparedness, the bushcraft community, amongst each other in each of those communities, and that is the materials of survival knives. So we're talking about carbon steel versus stainless steel. And I think the comparison should be done if you're doing so with the same exact product. Well, here we have the Mora Bushcraft series knives. We have the Mora Bushcraft Black and the Mora Bushcraft Stainless. Now I'm going to discuss and talk about the utilization of each one of these blade materials, the pros and the cons of each, and I hope it'll help you make the decision for your pack. Okay, now as stated before, these are both Mora Bushcraft knives. Right here on the left, we have the Mora Bushcraft Black. It's a very well-known knife, and a lot of people in the bushcraft community, they really love this knife. This is my second one. I love it too. I think for the purpose that it serves, it's a fantastic knife. And on the other end, we have the Mora Bushcraft Stainless. Same exact knife, same exact handle, different colors, but different blade material. This is the only one I've ever bought of this. Okay. Now, pros and cons. Pros. On the carbon steel knife, it is extremely easy on the learning curve how to utilize your sharpener and get this blade razor sharp very fast. The only downfall of that is, in comparison to this stainless will hold the sharpness longer, but it is harder to sharpen, so you will have to be a little bit more proficient, and the learning curve is a little bit harder, but you're going to be rewarded with a longer life of your sharpness. Okay, both of these knives comes with like the Kydex plastic Mora sheaths, which some people are like, gotta have a leather sheath. That's cool, man, but when you're out in the woods and it's raining and it's the humidity's there, sometimes when you put your knife back in, especially if it's carbon, you put it back into the moist sheath, and guess what? By tomorrow or a couple hours later, it's already got rust on it. That's a no-no for me, okay? It has a drain hole at the bottom. The water falls right out. But like I said, they're both equipped with ferrocerium rod fire starters, and they both have diamond sharpeners on both knives. Another cool pro about this, if you were liberated of your combustion implements, such as this ferro rod, you could take this by utilizing a harder base substance like a quartz or a chert to put this on a fire starting area and hit the back of your knife with said rock. Like I said, it's got to be harder than the carbon steel, so only a harder rock will work, but you will be damaging your knife. But the good thing is, once you strike this, it's going to carve off pieces of material which will oxidize and will cause sparks to ignite a fire. That is a pro that this does not have. So let's evaluate right now. This holds the blade longer, but is harder to sharpen. This, easy to sharpen, but the sharpness goes away faster. You can strike this directly to start a fire, but that is, and should be known and mentioned, your last resort in regards to any knife that you're carrying, okay? This does not have that implement, but I never go into the woods without ferro or any kind of lighter or something like that. I always have, remember, 2 is 1 and 1 is none. I never have that problem. If you cut anything citrusy with this knife, it's going to rust, okay? Lots of plant-based materials are highly acidic. This is going to rust, okay? This will not. This is less babysitting. I like that. I like that in a survival situation. I don't want to have to babysit my knife. I don't mind that this knife takes a little longer to sharpen because I know that blade is going to hold a longer sharp edge. Okay. So those are the absolute main situations for both of these knives. Okay. This one, easy to sharpen. This one, not. The sharpness won't last. This will. Okay. Start a fire with this if you absolutely needed to. This cannot. Those are your main differences that you're going to have to figure out what fits in your kit, okay, for you to be able to pick out a knife. And some people go, well, that doesn't fall in my category because those knives are not full tang. Okay, let's address that. These actually go down to about right here. Okay, there's a loop here, a loop here, and a loop here, and then this mold is molded over it. If you've never held one of these knives, they're absolutely a joy to hold, and lots of people will never break this as long as you take care of it. Okay, if you absolutely are out there in the woods and you're busting up these knives, dude, you're not taking care of your knife. This is a bushcraft knife. This is a knife that can be used for a survival knife, as it can do so many jobs, but you have to take care of it. If you're out there pounding trees with this knife, you're abusing it. Okay, that shouldn't happen. But this fantastic knife, like I said, the ability to start a fire is great, and I really like that. But I always carry fire implements. This I would consider a more long-term, sustainable knife. It's less babysitting. Once I sharpen that edge, it's gonna work for me. I got my fire starting stuff. I got my my blade sharpener on that, and I just prefer stainless steel over carbon in a survival situation. Okay, in an absolute, this is the only knife I have. I might be happy I have this because I know I could start a fire with it if I didn't have that. But that is where that comparison ends. Thank you so much for joining me. And I'm glad that you actually got to see the comparison. I know a lot of people are fanboys of certain knives and they want to just push those knives. Remember, carbon steel is a great knife. It's been used for a very long time. I definitely teach people how to use this knife in a survival situation, but if you're going more long term, I would suggest stainless steel. It is less babysitting, but yet it is more of a learning curve to keep that blade sharp. Mora is some of the best knives in the world, and for the price point and for weight. You cannot beat that for a survival knife, okay? Thank you so much for joining me, and this knife in particular is one of our gear lists for our class. So be sure if you sign up for our classes, you bring a Mora bushcraft. It doesn't have to have the fire starter on it. It can be carbon steel or stainless. You bring whatever one you want, and we're going to make that work, okay? Thank you so much. Do not forget to like and subscribe. And we appreciate your views, we appreciate your comments, and we appreciate your support. And you can email us for product reviews and classes at the Wilderness Survival School at protonmail.com. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.